Sometimes in life, you have to know when to step back. You have to hold your ground, stay silent, and watch. And when you do, something remarkable happens. People who doubted you, who left you. Even those who underestimated your strength, they start to notice. They feel your presence without you needing to say a word. They start realizing what they lost, and they'll come running back, searching for that strength they took for granted. There's a deep power in patience, in knowing that you don't need to prove anything to anyone but yourself. That silent confidence, it's magnetic. It pulls people in because they feel the quiet strength in you. A strength that isn't swayed by applause or approval. You don't need the world to cheer you on because you're secure in who you are, in the path you're walking. Hold your ground. Know your worth. There will be times when people test you, when they question your values, your dreams, your very identity. And the louder they get, the quieter you should become. You know who you are. You don't need to shout it to the world. Let your actions speak. Let the results do the talking. There's a dignity and restraint in holding back when it would be so easy to let your voice rise. But the truth is, silence is powerful. When you step back, when you give yourself that space, you see things clearly. You see who's really there for you, who respects you, who recognizes your worth without you having to spell it out. And those who don't, they'll feel the weight of that silence. They'll remember the presence they once took for granted. Being true to yourself, living authentically, without the need to convince anyone else of your worth, that is the ultimate strength. And in time, people come to see it. They see that you don't need to chase anyone because the power, the wisdom, and the vision that you hold within you, that is enough. So step back, stay silent, watch and wait, because the day will come when they'll come running and begging, realizing that they missed out on someone who didn't need them but was strong enough to stand alone. And in that moment, you'll know you didn't need to change for anyone. You just needed to stand in your own light. It's about mastering the art of restraint. It's about understanding that things don't always unfold according to our timeline, but that doesn't mean they won't happen. Real strength lies in the ability to wait not passively, but with purpose, knowing that the right moment will come. There is power in silence, in stepping back when the world around you is rushing forward. In that stillness, you hold the power to shape your own path, not dictated by external circumstances, but by an internal understanding that timing is everything. Patience teaches us that nothing of value comes without effort, without growth. When we rush to force things, we overlook the lessons that patience can provide. Every delay, every setback, every moment of stillness is an opportunity to prepare. It's the space where you learn about your true strength, your ability to stay calm when the world demands urgency. True patience is about knowing that everything has its season, that growth, success, and realization cannot be rushed. Just like a tree that takes time to grow strong, your character, your journey, and your achievements need the space to develop. When you practice patience, you embrace the idea that you don't need to chase after everything. Some things will come to you when the time is right, and the universe has a way of revealing the path when you're ready for it. Patience allows you to understand the rhythm of life, to trust that every experience, whether good or bad, is leading you closer to where you need to be. It's not a passive waiting game, but a deep trust in your journey and your ability to endure. In the meantime, while the world rushes and pushes, you stand firm. You don't need to prove anything to anyone. You don't need to shout your worth. You don't need to chase after fleeting things. When you have patience, you have perspective. You can see beyond the immediate rush, the temporary distractions, and the noise. You realize that everything that's truly meant for you will come at the right time, and in the meantime, you will grow into the person who deserves it. There's an elegance in patience. It allows you to move with purpose, to choose your steps with care, knowing that your destination isn't determined by how fast you move, but by how aligned you are with what truly matters. When you know this, you don't fear the wait, you welcome it. And in that quiet confidence, you begin to understand the profound power of patience. It's not just about waiting, it's about knowing that the best is yet to come and being strong enough to wait for it without rushing, without forcing it. Silent confidence is a rare, almost mystical quality. It's the kind of confidence that doesn't shout for attention, doesn't need to be validated by anyone. It's not about the loudness of your voice or the flashiness of your achievements. It's about an unshakable belief in yourself, a deep-rooted certainty that you are enough, no matter who sees it or acknowledges it. Silent confidence is knowing your worth without needing to say a word, knowing that your presence alone speaks volumes. When you are truly confident, There's no need for constant affirmation. You don't need to explain yourself, defend your choices, or prove anything to anyone. You simply exist, and your actions reflect your inner strength. It's the quiet person in the room who, without trying, holds the attention and respect of everyone around them. People are drawn to silent confidence because it's not forced, it's not desperate, it's real. It's the kind of confidence that builds trust because it emanates from someone who is at peace with themselves and their place in the world. What makes silent confidence so powerful is its subtlety. It doesn't demand acknowledgement or validation, and yet it commands respect. It's the kind of strength that doesn't need to be flaunted. Those who possess it don't go around boasting about their achievements or trying to impress others. Instead, they let their actions speak. The way they carry themselves, the way they approach challenges, the way they handle adversity, all of it radiates a quiet power that others can't help but notice. There's a calmness to it, a steadiness, a refusal to be shaken by outside noise or distractions. When you're truly confident in yourself, you don't need to seek approval or attention. People will recognize your strength without you even having to try. Silent confidence doesn't come from arrogance or pride. It comes from self-awareness, from understanding your strengths and weaknesses and accepting them. It's about being secure enough in who you are that you don't feel the need to prove anything. You walk through life with a quiet assurance that you are enough, just as you are, and you have nothing to prove to anyone. This kind of confidence isn't about inflating your ego or seeking to be admired. It's about being authentic and true to yourself and letting that truth resonate without saying a word. It's not a confidence that needs to overpower others or seek to diminish them. Instead, it's a quiet power that leaves space for others to rise too. It's the kind of confidence that doesn't belittle others to make yourself feel better. Instead, it lifts those around you because it shows them what's possible when you embrace your own greatness without diminishing someone else's. Silent confidence is the understanding that your greatness doesn't make you better than anyone else, it simply makes you whole. And when you are whole, you radiate a kind of peace that others are naturally drawn to. In a world that often rewards loudness, brashness, and outward displays of power, silent confidence is the antidote. It's the strength to stand your ground without needing to make a scene. It's the ability to face adversity with calm determination and to rise above the noise without ever having to shout. It's the assurance that you don't need to compete with anyone because you already know that your value doesn't depend on being louder, faster, or more visible than anyone else. Your worth is inherent, and silent confidence reflects the truth with every step you take, every word you speak, and every choice you make. It's about embodying a deep sense of self-respect and unwavering conviction. It's about recognizing who you are, what you stand for, and refusing to bend or break under pressure, no matter the circumstances. Life will test you, and people will challenge you, but holding your ground means that you're anchored in your beliefs, in your values, and in your identity. It's not about being rigid or stubborn for the sake of it, but rather it's about knowing when to stand tall and when to simply say, this is who I am, and this is where I stand. When you hold your ground, you're not afraid to stand apart from the crowd. In fact, it's in those moments of pressure, when the world tries to push you off course or lead you down a different path, that you show the true strength of your character. Holding your ground means you won't compromise your principles just to fit in or gain approval. With the quiet confidence that says, I am enough as I am, and I don't need to change to meet someone else's expectations. You remain true to yourself, and in doing so, you allow your actions to reflect the person you've chosen to be, regardless of what others think or say. It's easy to get lost in the noise of the world, to get swept up in the opinions of others, to let the pressure of society or the expectations of those around you dictate your choices. But when you hold your ground, you tune out those distractions and find your inner voice. You create space for your own truth to resonate, and you don't allow external forces to push you into a space where you feel uncomfortable or compromised. There's immense strength in staying true to your course, even when the world around you is calling you in a different direction. Holding your ground isn't about confrontation or being forceful, it's about quiet strength. It's about knowing that there is power in calmness, power in the ability to stand without being moved, power in the peace that comes from being rooted in your own beliefs. You don't have to yell or fight to prove your point. Your actions, your consistency, and your unwavering stance speak for themselves. It's in the times when everything around you is uncertain, when others are second-guessing themselves, that your grounded presence becomes the rock others need. The ability to hold your ground also means having the courage to face adversity. Life will throw challenges your way. People will try to discredit you, undermine your efforts, or lead you to doubt your path. But when you hold your ground, you're telling the universe, I'm not here to play small. I'm here to stand tall, regardless of what obstacles come my way. And when those challenges arise, instead of shrinking or running from them, you face them head on, knowing that overcoming these hurdles is part of your journey and will only make you stronger. Holding your ground also requires resilience. It's easy to bend when the winds are strong, to feel the pull of compromise when things get tough. But true strength is found in the ability to remain unshaken when faced with adversity. It's about being flexible in your approach without ever losing sight of your core values. You adapt to the circumstances around you, but you never lose sight of who you are and what you stand for. You may be tested, but you are not broken. And when others see that you have the strength to hold your ground, it will command respect. It's essential to remember that holding your ground isn't about opposing others or fighting battles that don't serve your purpose. It's about choosing the battles that matter, the ones that are aligned with your truth and your values. When you know what you stand for, you have the clarity to know what's worth your energy and what's worth walking away from. Holding your ground doesn't mean engaging in every conflict sometimes. It means choosing peace and knowing when to stand back and let the situation unfold on its own. In the end, holding your ground is about self-respect. It's about respecting yourself enough to say, I know who I am and I don't need to be anything else to fit into someone else's mold. It's about trusting that your path, no matter how unique or different from others, is just as valid and powerful. When you hold your ground, you embody strength, resilience, and an unshakable belief in your own worth. You stand tall in the face of adversity, and you refuse to let anything or anyone move you from your true course. You remain steadfast, not because you need to prove anything, but because you know who you are and where you're going. And that quiet, unwavering confidence is what makes you unstoppable. Self-respect is one of the most powerful forces you can possess in life. It's the foundation upon which everything else is built: your confidence, your choices, and the way you navigate the world. When you prioritize self-respect over seeking approval from others, you unlock the true power to live authentically and with purpose. Many people spend their entire lives chasing validation, looking for external sources of affirmation, but true strength comes from within. When you respect yourself enough to follow your own truth, you free yourself from the need for others' approval, and that is where real power lies. We live in a world that often encourages us to seek validation from others, to measure our worth by external standards. Social media, societal expectations, the opinions of family and peers, these can all exert tremendous pressure to conform, to fit in, to meet a certain standard. But the problem with seeking approval is that it ties your sense of self-worth to something outside of yourself, something you have no control over. When you base your value on how others see you, you put yourself in a vulnerable position because you can't control how people perceive you, nor should you want to. Self-respect is the deep knowing that your value comes from within, not from the fleeting approval of others. It's the strength to walk your own path, to make decisions based on your beliefs, your values, and your understanding of who you are, even if others don't agree. It means refusing to shrink yourself to fit into someone else's mold or meet someone else's expectations. You recognize that you don't need to be liked by everyone, and you certainly don't need to be validated by others to know your worth. When you choose self-respect over approval, you are choosing to honor your own journey and your own truth, regardless of external pressures. The beauty of self-respect is that it doesn't depend on anyone else's judgment. When you respect yourself, you make decisions based on your own values, not on what others think or what is expected of you. You become the authority in your own life. This kind of independence frees you from the constant struggle of trying to please others, trying to meet standards that were never meant for you. You know what's best for you because you trust your instincts, your experience, and your ability to navigate the world on your own terms. This doesn't mean that you disregard the opinions of others completely. Self-respect isn't about being dismissive or ignoring constructive feedback. But it does mean that you learn to filter those opinions through the lens of your own values and beliefs. You listen to others, but ultimately you trust yourself to make the final call. You know that no one else can walk your path for you, and no one else can define your worth. That's the power of self-respect. It's not a rejection of others, but an affirmation of your own value. When you prioritize self-respect, you begin to make choices that are aligned with your deepest desires, not with the need to fit in or be accepted. You no longer sacrifice your well-being for the sake of keeping the peace or gaining approval. You set boundaries that honor who you are, and you make decisions that nourish your soul. even if it means disappointing others or stepping away from relationships that don't support your growth. In the long run, those decisions are the ones that will bring you peace, fulfillment, and inner strength because they are the choices that reflect your true self. There's also a profound freedom in choosing self-respect over approval. The constant pursuit of external validation can be exhausting. It creates a cycle where you are constantly looking outside yourself for a sense of worth that can never truly be satisfied. But when you shift your focus to self-respect, you release yourself from that cycle. You no longer need to rely on external factors to feel good about yourself. Instead, you cultivate an inner sense of peace that comes from knowing you are enough just as you are. Self-respect means not tolerating mistreatment or allowing others to diminish your value. It means standing up for yourself in situations where you are being undervalued or disrespected. When you respect yourself, you recognize when it's time to walk away from situations or people that no longer serve you, even if they once did. It's the wisdom to know that your worth is not determined by someone else's opinion, and that sometimes the most powerful choice is to leave behind anything that diminishes your sense of self. Choosing self-respect over approval also requires courage. It's not always easy to walk away from the need for validation, especially when the pressure to conform is strong. It's hard to be the one who stands out, to make choices that others might not understand. But it's in those moments, when you choose to stay true to yourself, that you build the kind of strength that comes from knowing you are living for yourself and no one else. You become more grounded, more resilient, and more capable of handling life's challenges because you are no longer dependent on anyone else's opinion to feel complete. Ultimately, when you choose self-respect over approval, you are choosing to honor the most important relationship you will ever have, the relationship with yourself. And when you have that deep connection to yourself, when you respect who you are, you become a magnet for the right people and opportunities. You no longer need to chase after external validation because your inner peace and self-respect will naturally attract the things that are in alignment with your highest good. And that, in the end, is the greatest kind of approval you can ever receive, the approval that comes from within. It's a journey, one that unfolds through every challenge, setback, and triumph in life. It's about forging resilience deep within yourself, the kind of resilience that isn't shaken by temporary circumstances or external forces. Inner strength comes from facing adversity and rising above it, not just surviving the storms, but emerging stronger because of them. It's the quiet determination that no matter what life throws at you, you will stand firm, learn, grow, and continue moving forward. At its core, building inner strength begins with understanding that you can't always control what happens to you, but you can always control how you respond. Life will challenge you, people will disappoint you, and unexpected hardships will arise. But when you build inner strength, you learn that your power lies in your response, in how you rise to meet those challenges with courage and perseverance. It's about cultivating a mindset that refuses to accept defeat, that sees obstacles as opportunities for growth rather than as roadblocks. One of the key elements of building inner strength is learning to trust yourself. When you trust yourself, you know that no matter what comes your way, you are equipped to handle it. You develop a quiet confidence, not one that brags or boasts, but one that is deeply rooted in the knowledge that you are capable. Self-trust is the foundation on which resilience is built. Because when you believe in your ability to overcome adversity, you can face challenges head-on without fear of failure. And even if you do stumble, you know that failure is not the end, it's simply a lesson, a stepping stone on your path to growth. Building inner strength also means confronting your fears, not running from them. Fear has a way of paralyzing us, keeping us small and playing it safe, but true strength is found in the ability to face your fears, acknowledge them, and move forward despite them. It's in those moments when fear grips you and you choose to keep going anyway that your inner power is forged. Overcoming fear isn't about eliminating it. It's about learning how to coexist with it, to acknowledge its presence and choose to act in alignment with your values and goals, rather than being controlled by fear. Another crucial aspect of building inner strength is developing the ability to be resilient in the face of hardship. Life is full of unexpected twists and turns, and there will be times when things don't go as planned. People may let you down, plans may fall apart, and circumstances may push you to your limits. But inner strength is built in those moments of uncertainty, when everything feels out of control. It's about digging deep and finding the resolve to continue, even when the road ahead seems unclear. Resilience is not about avoiding pain or discomfort. It's about embracing it, understanding that challenges are a natural part of life, and knowing that each hardship carries the seed of personal growth. Part of building inner strength also involves letting go of the need for external validation. So much of our energy is spent seeking approval from others, trying to measure up to the expectations of society, friends, and family. But when you focus on building inner strength, you shift your focus inward. You learn that your worth is not determined by other people's opinions, and that you don't need anyone's permission to be who you are or to pursue your dreams. Inner strength comes from knowing that you are enough, just as you are, and that you don't need to prove yourself to anyone but yourself. When you no longer seek validation from outside sources, you free yourself to live authentically and make decisions that are true to your values, not based on what others expect or want from you. Building inner strength is also about taking responsibility for your life. It's about understanding that, while you may not be able to control everything that happens to you, you have the power to control how you respond. When you take responsibility for your actions, your decisions, and your reactions, you empower yourself to shape your future. You stop blaming others or external circumstances for your unhappiness, and instead you focus on what you can do to improve your situation. This doesn't mean that you are always in control, but it means you recognize that you always have the power to choose your response, to decide how you will move forward from any given point. Building inner strength also requires cultivating patience and discipline. The road to inner strength is not always easy, and it's not always immediate. It's about making consistent choices every day to do what's hard, what's uncomfortable, and what's necessary for your growth. It's about sticking to your path, even when the results aren't immediate, even when the world around you is pushing you to take shortcuts or settle for less. The patience to see things through, the discipline to stay focused on your goals, and the strength to push through challenges, these are the qualities that build inner strength over time. Ultimately, building inner strength is about embracing who you are with all your flaws, imperfections, and challenges. It's about accepting that life is not always going to be easy, but it's the way you navigate the difficulties that defines you. Inner strength is forged through every difficulty, every obstacle, every heartache, and every triumph. It's a lifelong process of learning, growing, and evolving, but with every step you become more resilient, more grounded, and more capable of facing whatever comes your way. When you build inner strength, you become unshakable, not because life stops challenging you, but because you develop the ability to face it all with courage, grace, and unwavering resolve. Letting your actions speak is the embodiment of integrity, the expression of your character without the need for words. It's about living with authenticity where your choices and behaviors align with your deepest values. Words are powerful, but they are fleeting. They can be empty if not backed by consistent, meaningful action. Actions are what show the world who you really are. They are the true representation of your intentions, your commitment, and your character. In a world full of noise, where everyone seems to have something to say, it is those who let their actions speak who truly make an impact. When you let your actions speak, you show up in the world in a way that speaks louder than any words ever could. You don't need to boast. You don't need to try to convince others of your worth or your intentions. Instead, your actions carry the weight of your integrity. It's the way you treat people when no one is watching, the effort you put into your work, even when there's no recognition, and the consistency with which you show up for yourself and others. Every action you take is a message to the world, but more importantly, it is a reflection of the truth within you. One of the most profound aspects of letting your actions speak is that it allows you to lead by example, rather than relying on persuasion or manipulation. People are drawn to those who live in alignment with their values, who practice what they preach. Your actions inspire others, not through forceful words, but through the undeniable truth of what you do. Actions speak louder because they are rooted in experience. They are not theoretical or abstract. They are tangible and real. It's not about what you say you stand for, but what you do day in and day out that shows the world your true character. There is a certain kind of strength that comes from letting your actions speak. It's the strength to be silent when others are trying to get attention, to focus on what truly matters, and to stay committed to your path without needing external validation. This quiet strength is magnetic. It draws people in, not because you are loud or showy, but because you are steady, dependable, and true to your word. When you live this way, your presence alone communicates all that needs to be communicated. People begin to trust you, not because of what you've told them, but because of what they've seen you do. Letting your actions speak also requires patience and discipline. Words come easily, but actions require follow-through. It's easy to talk about the things you want to do, to express intentions and dreams, But real power lies in the ability to take consistent, deliberate action toward those goals, even when the path is hard or the outcome uncertain. Every step you take, every effort you put into achieving your goals, every small act of kindness or courage is a testament to your commitment. It's about showing that you are willing to work, sacrifice, and persist without expecting immediate results or recognition. It's not about the applause you receive, but about the integrity you uphold, even in the absence of praise. Letting your actions speak also builds trust. People know that when you say you're going to do something, you'll follow through. Trust is not built on promises, but on the consistency of your actions. Words can be broken, but actions are harder to deny. When you let your actions speak, you cultivate a reputation of reliability and integrity. Your word becomes your bond, not because you say it, but because you demonstrate it through your actions. Trust comes from seeing that you do what you say you'll do, and you do it not for recognition, but because it's who you are. The trust that you build in others is the kind that doesn't need to be spoken about, because it's understood through your consistent actions. Living this way also frees you from the burden of explaining yourself or defending your choices. When your actions are in alignment with your values, there is no need for justification. You don't need to convince others of your motives because they can see the truth in your behavior. This allows you to focus on what truly matters and not waste energy on convincing people of your worth or intentions. Your actions speak for you, leaving little room for misunderstanding or doubt. This peace that comes from letting your actions speak is a freedom that few ever experience. Furthermore, letting your actions speak is empowering. It shifts the focus away from what others think of you to what you are doing for yourself and the world around you. You stop seeking approval or needing validation from others because you are already walking in alignment with your truth. You have nothing to prove because your actions show who you are. There's a sense of inner peace that comes from this clarity. You are no longer living for the approval of others, but for the fulfillment of your own commitments, your own values, and your own sense of purpose. The beauty of letting your actions speak is that it transcends words. In a world filled with opinions, criticisms, and fleeting conversations, actions have a lasting impact. They echo long after the words have been forgotten. When you act with integrity, compassion, and purpose, you leave a legacy not just of words, but of deeds that resonate, that influence others, and that stand as a testament to your character. You become a living example of what it means to live truthfully and authentically, not by telling others how to live, but by showing them through your own actions. In the end, letting your actions speak is about being true to yourself and your values, about showing the world who you are not through grand speeches or promises, but through the steady, deliberate choices you make every single day. It's about the quiet power of living authentically, trusting that when you act with purpose and integrity, the world will see you for who you truly are. The magnetism of dignity is an invisible force, but it is one of the most powerful energies a person can radiate. Dignity is not something you can fake or manufacture. It's a quality that emanates from deep within. It is rooted in self-respect and self-awareness, and it shapes how you interact with the world and how the world perceives you. There is a magnetic pull in a person who stands with dignity, someone who carries themselves with a quiet strength and an inherent sense of worth. It's not about boasting or showing off. It's about being grounded in who you are, unapologetically, and not allowing external circumstances or opinions to sway your inner sense of value. When you walk with dignity, people are drawn to you, not because of anything you've said, but because of the silent power you exude. Dignity is not about perfection, but rather it's about owning who you are, flaws and all. It's about standing in your truth and not shrinking yourself to meet others' expectations. It's the quiet confidence that says, I am worthy simply because I exist, and I do not need to seek validation from others. When you have dignity, you do not let the opinions of others dictate your self-worth. You recognize that your value is intrinsic and it is not to be bargained with or diminished by external forces. This sense of internal strength is magnetic because it resonates with others on a deep subconscious level. People can sense when you believe in yourself, when you carry yourself with self-assurance and grace. They are naturally drawn to that energy because it reflects something universal, that we all deserve respect, that we are all worthy of honor, and that we all have a unique value to bring to the world. The magnetism of dignity also lies in how it influences the way you treat others. When you respect yourself, it becomes almost impossible not to respect others. You see the humanity in everyone you meet. There's a generosity of spirit that comes from this place of dignity, a recognition that all people deserve to be treated with kindness, fairness, and understanding. You carry yourself in a way that invites others to feel seen and valued, not because you are seeking admiration, but because you understand the importance of showing others their worth. The respect you extend to others becomes a reflection of the respect you have for yourself, and that creates a ripple effect. People will gravitate towards you because of how they feel when they are in your presence, valued, respected, and understood. Another aspect of the magnetism of dignity is the way it helps you navigate adversity. Life is not always easy. We face hardships, setbacks, and challenges that can test our character. But those who possess dignity meet adversity with grace. They do not crumble in the face of difficulty. Instead, they maintain their composure and integrity. When life gets hard, dignity allows you to face the storm with your head held high, knowing that your worth is not diminished by the circumstances. It gives you the strength to keep going, to keep moving forward, and to show up as your best self, even when the world feels like it's against you. This kind of resilience is magnetic because it shows others what is possible in the face of adversity. When you walk through hardship with dignity, you inspire others to do the same, to hold on to their own sense of self-worth, even when times are tough. People are drawn to dignity because it represents a form of steadiness. In a world that often feels chaotic and uncertain, dignity provides a solid foundation. It is a rock, an anchor, and a safe harbor. When you operate from a place of dignity, you exude a sense of calm and control that others find comforting. They can sense that you are not swayed by the ups and downs of life, that you are not easily rattled by the opinions of others or the fleeting judgments of the world. This steadiness creates a magnetic energy because it gives others something to lean on, something they can rely on. There is comfort in knowing that someone who carries dignity is unwavering in their principles and true to their word. It gives others permission to do the same, and in turn, they are naturally drawn to your presence because they feel supported and understood. The magnetism of dignity also comes from its ability to create a sense of empowerment, not just for yourself, but for others around you. When you live with dignity, you set a standard. You show others how to hold themselves to a higher standard of integrity and self-respect. This doesn't come from lecturing or telling others what they should do. It comes from living your truth. When you demonstrate dignity in your actions, others take note. They see that you don't settle for less than what you deserve, that you don't compromise your values for convenience or approval. You become a living example of what it means to live authentically and with purpose. This inspires others to do the same, to show up in their own lives with the same respect, self-worth, and integrity. The magnetism of dignity isn't just about the energy you give off, it's also about how it attracts opportunities. When you stand in your truth, opportunities come to you because people want to work with you, partner with you, and support you. Dignity has a way of opening doors because it establishes trust and respect. Others see that you are someone who honors your word, who follows through on commitments, and who treats others with fairness and respect. This makes you a valuable asset, someone who is dependable, reliable, and worthy of investment. People are naturally drawn to those who carry themselves with dignity because they know that they can count on them to act with integrity and honor. In the end, the magnetism of dignity is a reflection of the power that comes from knowing your own worth, standing firmly in your truth, and extending that respect to others. It's a quiet force, but it is undeniable. People are drawn to dignity because it represents strength, grace, resilience, and an unwavering belief in the value of oneself and others. When you live with dignity, you not only attract respect and admiration, but you also inspire others to live in alignment with their own values. And that creates a ripple effect of positive energy, unity, and empowerment that has the power to change the world, one dignified action at a time. Authenticity is a force that transcends mere appearance or surface-level charm. It is the ability to be unapologetically true to who you are, not just in public, but in every corner of your life. When you embrace authenticity, you stop trying to fit into the molds or meet the expectations of others, and you start to live fully as yourself. You are not concerned with playing roles or adopting personas to be accepted. Instead, you allow your real essence, your values, beliefs, passions, and quirks to shine through in everything you do. This raw, unfiltered way of being is magnetic. It draws people in because it is rare in a world where most people are constantly trying to be something they're not. What makes authenticity so powerful is that it invites others to do the same. When you show up as your true self without fear or hesitation, you give permission to those around you to be themselves as well. People are naturally drawn to authenticity because it creates a sense of safety. In a world where judgment and pretense are common, there is something comforting in knowing that someone is not trying to hide their true nature or wear a mask. Authenticity is like a breath of fresh air. It's grounding and reassuring. It tells others that they too are allowed to let their guard down and show up fully as who they are without the need for approval or validation. Attraction, in its truest sense, is not about physical appearance or fleeting traits. It's about energy, connection, and resonance. When you are authentic, you emit an energy that others can sense. It's not about what you look like or what you say, but about how you make others feel. People are attracted to those who are authentic because they are reliable and real. There is no guesswork with them, no trying to decipher what's true and what's not. Authenticity removes the need for pretense, and this simplicity is a powerful attractor. It's like being around someone who is transparent and honest. They bring clarity and trustworthiness into every interaction. When you embrace authenticity, you start to attract opportunities as well. The world responds to those who are truly themselves because there is a natural confidence in authenticity. People who are authentic do not shy away from their weaknesses or pretend to be something they are not. They own their story, their struggles, their strengths, and their imperfections. This type of self-assurance, rooted in true acceptance of oneself, is magnetic because it suggests a person who is comfortable in their own skin, someone who has the strength to stand by their principles and values regardless of outside pressures. This kind of magnetic attraction isn't based on trying to impress others, but on living in alignment with your own truth. Opportunities will follow because people are naturally drawn to those who are genuine and steadfast in their sense of self. There's also a deep level of connection that comes from authenticity. People are attracted to authenticity because it creates a bond built on mutual understanding and trust. When you are being true to yourself, you allow others to do the same. Authenticity opens the door for genuine, meaningful relationships where both people feel seen and heard. These relationships are not based on superficial exchanges, but on a deep, real connection that acknowledges and values both individuals' true selves. This type of attraction isn't fleeting, it's lasting, because it's based on something real and tangible. There is no need to impress or perform because what is most valuable is already evident: the connection between two people who are being themselves. Attraction rooted in authenticity also thrives because it carries an inherent respect for individuality. When you are authentic, you show others that it's okay to be different, to march to the beat of your own drum, and to honor your unique qualities. People are attracted to authenticity because it signals to them that they too can be themselves without fear of rejection or judgment. Authenticity makes space for diversity. It doesn't demand conformity or adherence to a particular standard. When people see that you can be authentic, it gives them the courage to be authentic as well, which creates a shared experience that forms the foundation for deep attraction and respect. The authenticity that attracts is also characterized by consistency. True authenticity doesn't change based on circumstances. It's not about putting on a different face for different people or situations. It's about being the same person no matter who's around or what the situation is. When others see that your actions, words, and intentions align consistently, they begin to trust you. There's an undeniable power in consistency because it removes any uncertainty or doubt. When you are authentic and consistent in your behavior, you become someone people can rely on, someone who stands firm in their values. This kind of reliability creates a strong and lasting attraction, as others feel secure and drawn to the certainty that comes with your authenticity. Furthermore, authenticity often attracts those who share similar values and principles. When you are living authentically, you create a space that naturally gravitates people who resonate with your truth. You begin to surround yourself with individuals who align with your purpose, your passions, and your vision. The authenticity you project serves as a beacon for others who are seeking genuine connections, whether in business, friendship, or love. These relationships are not built on superficial similarities, but on a deeper, more meaningful bond based on shared authenticity. Being authentic also means being vulnerable. Vulnerability is often seen as a weakness, but it is in fact one of the most powerful qualities that can create real attraction. When you allow yourself to be vulnerable, you show others that it is safe to do the same. You show them that it's okay to let down your guard, to share your truths, and to show the rawness of your human experience. This kind of openness fosters connection, understanding, and empathy, which creates an undeniable attraction between people. The vulnerability that comes with authenticity deepens relationships and makes them more fulfilling because they are based on real, shared experiences rather than pretenses or facades. Ultimately, the attraction of authenticity is about resonance. It's about finding a deep connection with others who are drawn to you, not because of what you've crafted or what you've tried to be, but because of the truth you embody. When you live authentically, you create an energetic alignment with yourself and the world around you. This energy doesn't need to be forceful or overbearing, it simply exists, radiating from within. People are naturally attracted to that energy because it offers them the same freedom, the same space to be who they truly are. Authenticity breeds trust, connection, and opportunity. And it does so effortlessly because it is not trying to attract, it simply is. And that is the most powerful form of attraction there is. In conclusion, the path to true power and influence is not found in loud declarations or striving for external validation. It is found in standing still, knowing your worth, and letting your actions speak for you. It is found in embracing patience, living with integrity, and holding your ground when the world pushes against you. It is found in valuing your own self-respect over the fleeting approval of others, and in building an inner strength that keeps you grounded through any storm. And most importantly, it is found in living authentically, being true to yourself in every situation, knowing that the real magnetism in life comes from being exactly who you are, unapologetically and confidently. When you step back, stay silent, and trust the power of your own presence, you allow the world to come to you, not because you seek attention, but because your authenticity, dignity, and strength draw others in. This is not a game of chasing or proving your worth, it's a lesson in letting go and letting your true self be the beacon that guides your path. So stand tall, walk with purpose, and remember that when you know who you are, the world can't help but take notice, and the opportunities, respect, and admiration will come running and begging for your attention. Keep your head high, your heart steady, and your spirit unwavering. Because the ones who understand this truth will always know the power of silent strength and authentic living.